How do you conduct a critical literature review in business psychology? This video explores the process from identifying sources to evaluating their relevance and credibility. Discover how to build a solid foundation for your research by understanding existing knowledge and identifying gaps. A literature review is more than a summary of existing work. It involves understanding current knowledge, questioning evidence quality, and identifying gaps. This helps position your research and avoid duplication. Start by searching for credible sources, such as academic journals and industry data. Always consider the author's reputation and the timeliness of the information. Once you gather enough sources, begin analyzing them. Compare arguments and identify strengths, limitations, and biases. A small sample might offer insights but lack general relevance. Large studies may be statistically strong but miss behavioral explanations. Evaluate these trade-offs to understand their implications for your research. Look for recurring patterns and themes in the literature. Business issues like customer satisfaction and motivation often appear in various forms. Group these themes to understand collective suggestions. Pay attention to disagreements, as they highlight gaps for further exploration. Identifying these gaps justifies your research's purpose. Conclude the review by summarizing knowns and unknowns. Critically evaluate quality, compare perspectives, and recognize gaps. This builds a strong foundation for your research. Ensure your work is grounded in existing knowledge. Aim to add valuable new insights to the field. Theoretical approaches offer different lenses to view research problems. Behaviorism focuses on observable actions. Phenomenology explores personal experiences. Cognitive theory looks at mental processes. Psychoanalysis uncovers unconscious influences. Each approach has strengths and limitations for your research. Behaviorism examines observable actions influenced by external factors. It offers clarity with measurable evidence. However, it overlooks internal experiences driving behavior. In business, it helps analyze performance issues. Consider incentives, feedback, and environmental triggers. Phenomenology focuses on personal perception and lived experience. It provides depth in understanding feelings and motivations. However, personal experiences vary, making generalization difficult. Useful for issues like customer dissatisfaction or staff morale. It emphasizes individual interpretations over actions. Cognitive theory explores how thoughts influence behavior. It helps understand decision-making and problem-solving. However, thoughts are not directly observable. It relies on self-reports or inferred patterns. Useful for analyzing misunderstandings or cognitive overload in performance issues. Psychoanalysis delves into unconscious drives and emotional influences. It explains hidden motivations and unresolved tensions. However, it can be speculative and impractical, useful for uncovering deeper emotional triggers. Requires specialist skills and long-term exploration. Comparing approaches reveals different lenses for research. Behaviorism focuses on actions, phenomenology on feelings. Cognitive theory explores thoughts. Psychoanalysis uncovers hidden motives. Combining approaches offers a balanced understanding. Choose theories offering the most useful insights. A structured literature review traces the evolution of thought. It examines how theories have shaped business practice, not just listing ideas, but evaluating their value and limitations. It highlights how they influence modern management. Understanding these developments positions your research properly. Scientific management focuses on task efficiency and measurement. It shaped performance measurement and workflow design. However, it reduces workers to machines, ignoring motivation. Useful in narrow, repetitive environments. Modern workplaces require flexibility and engagement. Weber's bureaucracy introduced hierarchy and formal authority. It brought order and accountability. However, it can become rigid and stifle creativity. Useful for understanding formal processes. In fast-changing industries, it becomes a barrier. Fayol's principles laid modern management foundations: planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling. However, it assumes predictability and uniform behavior. People interpret instructions differently. Informal networks matter as much as formal structures. Industrial psychology focuses on matching individuals to jobs. It uses testing and measurement to select the right people. However, it reduces employees to test scores. Work environments significantly influence behavior. Job fit alone isn't enough. The human relations movement focused on social factors and group relationships. It showed that motivation and communication influence productivity. However, findings were overgeneralized. Still, it set the foundation for studying leadership. Useful for explaining employee attitudes. Neo-human relations expanded on motivation theories. It explains why people seek fulfillment and autonomy. However, it oversimplifies motivation and assumes uniform response. Real workplaces show cultural and personality differences. Useful for analyzing motivation and satisfaction. The systems approach views an organization as interconnected parts. It emphasizes interdependence and complexity. However, it can be overly broad, useful when combined with detailed behavioral theories. Highlights relationships but lacks specific explanations. The contingency approach argues for flexibility based on context. No one best way to manage. Useful for acknowledging real-world variations. However, it can be descriptive rather than predictive. Tells managers to adapt but not how. In conclusion, being able to critically review literature on a business research topic is essential for building a solid foundation for effective research in business psychology. A critical literature review helps researchers understand existing theories, identify patterns and gaps, and evaluate the strengths and limitations of prior studies. This process ensures that new research is grounded in reliable evidence and contributes valuable insights to the field. By analyzing literature with a thoughtful and critical approach, researchers can refine their research questions, select appropriate methodologies, and enhance the overall quality and relevance of their work. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via email or WhatsApp at 07,484,361,688.